great day. And how are y'all doing out here in YouTube land?
We out here. What's up, y'all?
All right. It's Tamika, your favorite black comic feminist, Angel and Bree, and we're here to talk comics with you. So how are you ladies doing today?
Good.
Yes, it's an epic day for comics. I just picked up my pre-orders yesterday and was bagging and boarding stuff, and I'm like, oh, we got some good deals. Feels good.
Oh man, I'm afraid to go back to my LCS because I know they're looking for me. I have a pile there and they're like, are you coming? I'll say, when my check comes in.
Me too.
That is literally that is
Mhm.
literally what happened to me. They sent me an email like, we haven't seen you in this period. When are you gonna come through? I'm like, oh, I'm coming. I promise. I just been busy.
Mhm.
Legit, like a full. By the time I got all of my books and then added bags and boards to put everything up, it filled a whole short box. So I was like,
Mhm.
pretty
Yeah,
bad.
I've done that. Mhm. Talking about, do you want a bag? No, give me the box, sir. I'm
Right.
not
Yes,
paying
I'm a
for it.
box.
Could always use more boxes around here. So
Facts.
we are here today. We're going to talk about at least one of my favorite independent comic companies, Boom Studios. It became my favorite because I started just collecting the amount of comics that they have and the range of diversity they have in all of their lines. Oh, it's
Say
wonderful.
that. Yeah.
It's wonderful. So of course I couldn't help but just grab them, and it's like this is my favorite, and I'll tell anybody that that's my favorite. I mean, Marvel and DC, they're cool, but my favorite independent right now is Boom Studios because they're the ones that I collect at least most of my independents from. What we're going to do today, we're going to talk about these comics today. We're going to start with Bree.
All right,
What's your
let's get into it. So I have all of my books separated by imprint and then alphabetized is like a recent development. My life is normally not that organized. But when we decided we were going to do this live, I was like, okay, let me go ahead and grab that. And she's hefty. Okay. She is hefty. But if I had to pick a favorite, or we're going to do one at a time. If I had to pick a favorite, I would say it's The Many Deaths of Layla Starr. This book, oh my gosh. So if you're unfamiliar with the story, and I picked up the trade before they came out with this gorgeous
Ooh,
special edition oversized hardcover. The artwork in this thing is beautiful, but the concept of it is death, the goddess of death, is pretty much put on notice to lose their job because there is a rumor that a child was born who will bring eternal life to the human race. So they won't have a need for death anymore. And so they decide, okay, we're going to fire you as death, but we're going to let you live out your life in the body of this woman who recently died, thus the name The Many Deaths of Layla Starr. And the way that it worked out is death is put onto earth in this mortal body at the time frame when this child is being born. And throughout the story, you see Layla Starr die. So every time, but when she comes back, she's at a different phase in this child's life or this person's life who's supposed to, get rid of mortality. And it's happens in Mumbai. It's touches on some mythological, like actual mythologies, but it's such a good time. There's like some dry, witty type of humor throughout it, so that the themes of like death and life and introspectivism kind of come at you in a light-hearted and kind of more palatable way. It's such a good time, but the real star of it is the artwork. I'm such a huge fan of this color palette. It's a good time, just all the way around. I was eating this up as single issues, and then I was like, "Oh, I have to get this when the trade comes out as well." And then obviously I loved it that much where I got the hardcover when it came out too. But it's such a good story. It's such a fun read. And I like the way that it touches on different parts of or different aspects of what it means to be human without being corny or hokey, if that makes sense. So yeah, if I had to pick a favorite Boom book, it's definitely The Many Deaths of Layla Starr. Have y'all gotten into this book at all?
No, I'm learning to.
Definitely have
One,
to
you
pick
have
that
to
one.
pick it up. Yes. Oh my gosh, I love it.
All right. Okay, Angel.
Okay, so one of their flagship comics is Berserker. I was part of Kickstarter. It is solely by Keanu Reeves. And then he has the writers, Steve, and on here, the artwork that was put together for this comic book is out of this world. I am huge on foil, and they do that for every comic. Like, if there's a regular cover, so like this one is Ashcan, which I can't stand ash cans, but this one, I don't know. This one just grabbed me, so I had to get it. So besides the regular comic books, they have a Poetry of Madness, which came out after the two comics, and then the more recent for Berserker is Pen and Ink. So this is just a collection of all the artwork from all the comic books. It's just ink. I mean, it's just exceptional. Like, who would have thought of that? I haven't seen that anywhere with comic books, where not only are they celebrating the story and laying the foundation for the movie come out for Keanu to act in whatever he does, but this comic book is just the gore and the violence, because if you're into horror and stuff like that, and action is chock full of action. It's just really phenomenal story and artwork. The artwork is what really captured me the most.
Awesome.
Nice. I see that all over the place because the hype train was real for that book. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, if I wasn't like strictly collecting women of color in comics, that one piqued my curiosity and almost made me get it, because like I said, they hyped the hell out of it. It definitely had some dope covers like all throughout the whole period. And then obviously Keanu Reeves is bae. So it's like, okay, you've piqued my interest. So I'm glad to hear that the story actually hits as well.
Oh, yes, it does.
All right. So I have a pile here, but this is going to be my most favorite of the Boom. What made me go into Boom Studios? Abbott.
Mm.
Oh.
I went into my LCS. I saw this woman staring at me from the stacks, and I said, "Oh, I have to pick that up. It doesn't even matter who it's from, where it's from. I have to know who that woman is."
Yeah.
She looked really badass. So of course I got it. And the wonderful thing about it is, okay, this of course was written by Saladin Ahmed. He is a Hugo Award winning author.
Oh.
The artist is Sammy Cavella, and the cover artist is Taj Tenfold. Now, the Taj Tenfold covers are decent, but the other ones, the variant ones, I try my best not to blow my budget on these, because all the covers are gorgeous. All the covers are gorgeous. But basically, it's about this intrepid reporter named Elena Abbott. She lives in Detroit, and she reports on the mundane, and the supernatural. Now, nobody's aware of what's going on in Detroit. The supernatural entity called the Umbra is what's coming to try to take over, and try to destroy things. However, it's not able to do so because Miss Elena here is the light bringer. Now, she has no idea how she came across these powers. How is it that she has to fight against the Umbra? But it was a very wild ride. It killed her husband. So she has, of course, a grudge. So that was mainly the big thing. And then since these are included, I'll just include these two in here. So, of course, the first 6-issue series was her getting rid of the Umbra in Detroit, but unfortunately, it's gotten a hold of her peoples. So it's still lingering. So then the second 6-issue series is Abbott 1973.
Yeah.
So this also keeps the story in what was going on in 1973, which was also, I thought it was kind of cute and it was timely. So you see that she's a couple of years older, but she still has the same issues. Let me get my hand off that corner. She still has issues with the Umbra. So now her brother and her friends are in on it. And then, of course, it also snatches her girlfriend at the end. So now, okay, and of course the covers.
Oh, those were that 1973 covers. Those were some trippy covers.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the variant covers. Oh, they're just.
That one. Like, oh wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I really wanted to get the one with her and her girlfriend, but that one is the pricey one. That's the retailer incentive, 1 in 100. So if you want to spend about $100, you can get it. But it's a little bit too much for me for just one comic. Because then, like I said, she's fighting the Umbra, who takes the form of a former boss of hers.
Oh, jeez.
So,
you might be able to find that 1 in 100 cover now, though, on like a claim sale or something like that. Because I know that's how I've gotten a few of mine through my LCS Cape and Cow. They tend to put some of those ratio variants up on their claim sales, and then you can get it for a more reasonable price if they didn't completely sell out of them. But yeah.
Right. And Macari, because I got a shop on Macari. So, you want to find comics, you can find them there as well. And then, of course, we're now into the last of the trilogy, Abbott 1979. The Reagan administration is messing up stuff.
Oh, of course.
Elena is down on her luck. She's not reporting for the big newspapers anymore. She's doing a rag. She's reporting for a rag. So she is down bad in the beginning of this. This just came out. So she's down bad right now. And the Umbra has her girlfriend. But we have to figure out, okay, well, what's going on? It's been 6 years. You have to figure out what's going on. How come you haven't tried to get the Umbra out of your girlfriend? And I guess this is what we're going to see. And then have the final showdown by issue 6. So that is my current favorite of my booms.
Nice.
So what we're going to do now then is that we can go back to Bree, and then she can probably run through all the rest of her ones that she's collecting. So we can probably do that, and then we can finish up and have a good old time here.
All right.
Cool. I will say that the latest Abbott run, I was like, okay, Bree, you do not need to collect all the variants for this. Like, just get your ones and be done. I've been trying to. I hear Tamiko's voice in the back of my mind, like, buy the comics, read the comics, don't blow your rant on the comics. So I'm like, all right, let me just. Now I've started doing this thing, and y'all are more seasoned collectors, so tell me if I'm on the right track here. But if it's a book that I really care about, but I'm not trying to like go crazy and collect all the variants of all of the issues, I will get all of the variants of the number 1, and then I will impatiently wait for the trade to read the rest of the story, or I'll read it like on comics or something like that.
Well, generally, what I do is I'll look at all the variants and I'll be like, which is the one that I want the most?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because of course with this one, they only offered two for
Yeah.
number one, which
Mm-hmm.
is great because then I
Yeah.
can get them both. But for things like that, if they have like 4 or 5 different ones, I will look at them and see which one do I want the most,
Yeah.
and then I will focus on getting that one, and
Mm-hmm.
then later on down the line, I'll pick up the other issues,
Yeah.
the
That's fair.
printing issues and things like that. Because that's what I have to do. Because Black Panther almost broke me.
Oh.
And like I said, I'm sitting there going, I love Dr. Ewing, but I love all these covers.
Facts.
I
There
would
were
never
so many.
ever, and I would never ever get all of them, but I did. I did.
Oh my God, Tamiko, are you serious?
But that's where pre-ordering comes in. Because
That's
I
true.
looked at it, I said, well, guess what? I'm going to run to my online comic shop, and I need all of these.
Yeah.
Okay, and for less than cover, because that's the only way.
Oh my gosh. I feel,
It's
wait a minute. Can we talk
Midtown.
about the commitment that is, Tamiko? Because I'm gonna tell you, like, when that final order cutoff came through, that email came through, like, okay, go to Comic Hub, check out whatever. I was like, not all of these covers are fire. Not all of these covers are giving. Like, they really showed out for this. And I was like, all right. Now, I will say that, I may get shade for this or whatever, but when it comes to the Black Panther books, because he's obviously not a woman of color in comics, I'm like, I'm not collecting single issues of that. That's another reason why I love the Marvel Unlimited app, because I can get the story without having to buy all of them. But I definitely wanted to support Dr. Ewing's run. And so I was like, all right, I will buy these because it's written by a Black woman. To me, that makes it women of color in comics.
That's
Yeah.
it.
But I also was like, I can't be out here buying all of these variants for this. So I had to, like, I tried to do what you said with, like, before we even talked of, like, okay, let me just pick the one that I really like. And I couldn't just pick one. So I ended up getting like one or two. The number ones I think I got 3 of them. But the moving forward, it was like, all right, I can't get more than 2 of these because it's gonna mess me up. Because for like for X-Men Red, every variant. For the Storm run right now, every variant. So I'm like, okay, we got to draw the line somewhere. Like, if they hadn't all been happening at the same time, I might have cut up with the Black Panther covers. But I was like, this is going to blow my budget trying to do this while I'm also trying to keep up with these other ones. So I was like, all right, forget it. But yeah, you really out here stretching that budget getting all those Black Panther covers.
I mean, I made the penny scream.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. It like did not stop at 2 or 3. They like really cut up.
Well, right now, Midtown Comics has Abbott on sale. They start out with basic 10%, and they do have the higher ratio comics. If anybody out there, TV fan, wants to order, I do support Midtown Comics. It's in my hometown in New York City. So, yes. So if you're interested in any of the comic books that we are talking about today, me and Tamiko orders frequently from Midtown Comics.
Yes, we do. I wholeheartedly support them because as soon as I see that email, this is 75% off.
Yes.
Here you go. Here you
go. Y'all are nothing but trouble. See, y'all not gonna have me signing up for these emails and ordering for multiple stuff because I'm already like, I found my local comic shop. They do right by me. I do my pre-orders through them, and I can just go pick them up when I have time to go to Oakland instead of having to wait for things to ship to me. But y'all really trying to make me out here struggle with these sales.
So there's clearance sales, Midtown Comics, clearance sales. Clearance.
Yeah, clearance. I don't buy anything
full price. On the really good stuff.
Nothing full price, honey. I don't even look at them until I see that, and then it's like 75 because it's like 30%. No, 10%. No, 75. I'm there. So yeah, they're good for getting me at least once every 2 months. I'm not gonna front.
When somebody says 75%, like, how are you gonna say no to that?
Exactly.
You can't.
and
Oh
get
yeah,
regular comics for like $1.10, $1.25. I said, see,
yeah. And they
yeah.
ship really well. Like I've ordered from different sources, and the way Midtown Comics wrap and ship their stuff is
Mhm.
immaculate. It's immaculate. I love ordering from them. It's like a present every time something comes in the mail.
Yeah.
Like
And
yes,
I live in Philly, so after I order 2 days, I have them.
yeah,
Yeah. Actually, you know what? We're gonna talk about sponsorship. They're gonna have to sponsor us because we
yeah.
Period.
support.
Let me reach out to them.
I'm
Let me
definitely
know
looking at that.
we are avid customers for many years.
Hmm.
See,
Okay, so
y'all
let's
trying
go
to
back to Bree because we just totally took over.
oh, it bees like that. Let's just go with the vibes. But okay, so I will obviously my little drawer thing is crazy. So I will just do my favorites, and if you guys want to pop in with some of yours, that's fine too. But I would say the ones that I'm most excited to talk about after the many deaths of Layla Starr are going to include Eve. This was such a good story. This is by Victor Laval, and he's just an epic writer just in general. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna pick this up off of GP because I know his writing is phenomenal. But when I tell you that this story was so dynamic, like we have this 11-year-old who was raised in like a virtual reality and becomes awake in this like pod and realizes that her whole life is not what she thought it was, and the world is actually in trouble because obviously humans have screwed it up, and her father has pretty much left her the resources to correct the issue, and so she has to go on this adventure to try to locate those things so that way she can be the Earth's final hope type of thing. There's only so many humans left and all that type of stuff. And I know you're like, what the heck is that? This little guy is a robot, her robot protector, who's like in the body of her favorite teddy bear. So it's like, this is her helper. It's a very serious thing, but it's super endearing that it comes in this adorable teddy bear form. The art
Mhm.
style for this is gorgeous. And it's, I almost shed a thug tear because it really takes it there. And you would think like, oh, how deep is it going to go with an 11-year-old and her electronic teddy bear? It goes there. It's so well done. Such a good time. And there's another run that's like now with her older happening, and I didn't pull those out because I only have single issues of it. The trade hasn't, yeah,
I
I
got
haven't, yeah, haven't gotten the trade
it.
yet, but the story continues, and so I'm just like, I hope that this just keeps keeps going because it's been such a fun ride. How have you been finding it, Tamiko?
Oh, I'm in love. I'm in love, and I don't want to tell so much about it because
Yeah,
I want y'all to go get
yeah.
these comics because
Don't want to
these
give,
are worth it.
yeah, it's totally worth it. Don't want to give spoilers, but the story
Mhm.
is phenomenal. Like, you don't sleep on the story. It's great. Um, my
And of
next,
course, let me come in one thing with the
yeah,
the
Ooh,
cover.
the
The cover.
variant covers
pretty.
for that were
The
sickening.
That's
Mm-hmm.
really
This is the Virgin retail variant. I think to number 3 or 4. I don't
Mm,
remember, but this I said, "Ooh, this is one on my wall."
yeah.
I'm going to have to figure out my situation, but that's definitely going to be one of the ones that goes on the wall.
We're gonna have to make sure we get you one of these comic book canvases, Tamiko, so you can display. And I was
Yeah.
like, if I had planned better, I would have like pulled some of my Boom single issues and put them up so I could Vanna
Mhm.
White that's this thing, but you see the vibes. My next favorite after Eve is probably We Only Find Them When They're Dead.
yep. I have that.
This is this has been such a fun series, and I pre-ordered the hardcover compendium that compiles all 3 volumes. So if you're a hardcover whore like me, you can pick up the hardcover. But the gist of the story is it's a space opera style adventure, and the community or the universe is like collecting materials from these ginormous alien gods bodies who they're, as you can tell from the title, they find them when they're dead floating in space. So they're harvesting, the material from their bodies, and it's the way that the human race is sustaining itself in space, based off of utilizing these very valuable materials. What I thought was cool about the story, but I noticed that a lot of people kind of took it as a con, so it can go both ways, is that there's lots of time jumps throughout this. So just when you like are falling in love with some characters and you get used to the idea of this particular crew, you have a time jump and then you go however far into the future and you have to get used to these new characters. But looking back on it after like a reread, once everything was available, I feel like it helps the story if you read it all together, but it hurt the story reading them as single issues. So I would encourage you, if you haven't experienced this story just yet, pick up that hardcover trade that compiles all of them together for the most optimal reading experience, or just buy the trades like this. I will say these did have some epic covers. This is a series where I only collected like the main cover for them, because they just look so freaking cool. Like if you're someone who liked Guardians of the Galaxy, the scenes where they were in nowhere and they were harvesting the stuff from nowhere, it's the same exact concept, just tweaked in a really cool way. So this series is very well done. Oh, and I didn't do a flip through, but the artwork on this is so like, it's literally like every single frame or panel is like backlit, and that's wild if you think about it. Like, how did they maintain this like ethereal underglow in all of the whole entire story? Like, it's wild. Absolutely gorgeous and super lush. So yeah, get into it. Gosh, this is so annoying. Siri thinks I'm talking to her and I am not. But yeah, so my next favorite one, after We Only Find Them When They're Dead, is Bad Mask. So a lot of people don't know that Boom has like
I don't know what you mean by.
Oh gosh.
Hey Siri, is it very well done? Oh, and I didn't do a flip through, but the artwork.
Jesus. So annoying. So annoying.
Mine was doing the same thing.
Like, stop it. But please, can I do my thing? Okay. But a lot of people don't know that Boom has like a lot of smaller prints that like cater to different age groups. So you have Boom Box, which is another one, and then you have like Archaea, and I think there's one other one. But I haven't picked up too many of those other ones, but I do have a few Boom Box titles that are more like their YA stories. This one I thought was really cool. It's called Bad Mask. It's a box, okay? And it comes with, it's kind of like if you're approaching like, so you have the concept of DC, it's Detective Comics. It's kind of like if you approach comics from a detective point of view and you have to investigate to get the entirety of the story. So the box actually comes with the actual comic, and it comes with like some handbooks for this organization. So to give you like the skinny of it, this is our main character and she's a villain and she's joined this villain organization who is like working against this robot who is supposed to be like the big epic protector of humanity type of thing. But amidst her being in this organization, they start seeing like undercurrents of the potential for like him not actually being a hero or the robot not actually being a hero. And she also kind of starts questioning her role as a villain as well, and like what it means within her role. But you don't just get the comic to tell you what's happening. You get a newspaper that has articles about what's happening in the universe. You get some character cards, you get the villain organization that she's in, you get their handbook, you get some like secret files from the villain organization, and then you get like it's like a Time magazine type of vibes, but it's their version of it. It's called New Press. And then you get like this folio that tells you like how to approach all of this information so you get the full scope of the story. And it was so fun, like going through the process of like investigating all of these different aspects of the story just so you can get the full scope of the story. It was such a good time. So I don't know how many more of these like this that they have, but if I see another one of these with a woman of color protagonist, I'm picking it up because this was a really good time.
That is awesome. You know,
Right?
I love world building.
Right, exactly. It made the world building so lush, and it made you feel like the actual detective vibes because you're like, what am I missing? And then you go back between the different mediums. It's just a really good time. And then I would say one. Oh, Something is Killing the Children.
Yeah.
I got this. As I said, I am a hardcover horror. So I was late to this story. So I was gonna pick up the trades, and then I seen in the FOC that this hardcover compendium was coming up. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just wait instead of buying it twice because I may not like it, but then I really liked it. And now and now because I have this, I'm like, dang, do I really want to buy these things twice just so that my set will match? Because y'all know how I am about my shelves. So I think I might. I've been going back and forth about it because it's like, Brianna, you have enough to read. You can wait and get the next hardcover instead of getting the trades. But I low-key really want to know what's happening. So this one, it doesn't collect all of what's currently available, but this is as far as I've read, so no spoilers. But this story is crazy. At first, I wasn't like a super fan of the artwork, but it grew on me. I'm not gonna lie, it grew on me, and it fits the story really well. So I think that's part of it too. Like if you just the cover is dope, but if you just get like a off flip kind of glance at the artwork, you're like, I could take it or leave it. But then once you get deep into the story, you're like, oh, this is actually perfect for this story. And I know that you guys have read this one, so I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are, but please no spoilers past the first couple volumes.
Nope. I'm gonna do it.
For me, I really didn't collect past the first issue, so it didn't capture me. I like it, and then I couldn't pick it up again. Like I would see it in the store, and I'm like, oh, I'll get it later. It was always I'll get it later compared to some of the other comic books, but it is a really good story. I just, for me, I'll just read it online because I do the digital where that's just a little more affordable than physical copies of the book.
That's fair. Yeah, I will say they did come out with the House of Slaughter too, and that has like.
I'm right there. I can't wait. I'm gonna be right there.
Go ahead, Tamiko, go.
All right, so that's your run of booms.
No, I thought you were going to share about House of Slaughter, but I will say. Okay. So I will say that another one that that I enjoyed was Basilisk.
Oh, I didn't. I don't know about that one. What's that one?
Oh, so this is dope. It has a Black woman main character. The gist of it is there's like this group of people called the Chimeru, I think. Chimeru. Yeah, Chimera. And they are like, they have powers and they're attacking people and all that, whatever. Our main character, she is one of them, and she decides to leave off from the group because they're killing people, whatever. She doesn't agree with what they're doing. And then she partners with another person who they decide, okay, we're going to get rid of the other ones so that way they're not like wreaking havoc. So you're going through the story as she's like hunting the other people from this cult group that she's been in down. And it's a good time. The artwork is really cool. This one is very like, it very much gives like horror centric vibes, but not in like a gory way. And obviously, I'm here for any Black woman main character books. So I was like, oh, yeah, all over this when it first came out. And I was collecting some of the single issues, but I didn't really read it until the first trade came out. And I was like, oh, this is actually really dope. And it's just continued to keep going. I'm hoping that, again, as a hardcover horror, I hope that they give us a compendium of all three volumes, but it's a good time. And I think that it wrapped up pretty nicely, even though it wrapped up kind of quickly, in my opinion. It was still a really good story overall. So definitely check that out. Oh, another good one is Dark Blood. And this is written by a Black woman. And it's Latoya Morgan. And it's following the story of this man who participated in the war, and he has powers and whatever, and he's trying to like get back to his normal life, but all these other things keep happening. It's also like giving like borderline horror vibes, but not in a gory way. So it's a good time. And then you get to see like little aspects here and there of like his love for his family and all that type of stuff. So this is another good one, I would say. Definitely pick that up. Some of these other ones I'm like, I read and they were like, it's fine. I don't know that I would tell everyone to buy that, but the stack is pretty crazy. Oh, another one that's good that I'm not entirely, I can't skip this one. So Sparrowhawk. This was my first Boom book, and I absolutely fell in love because I'm a sci-fi fantasy girly all the way around. So if you give me fantasy vibes and it's in a comic and the main character is a black fairy, like immediately yes, put it in the cart. But the art style is like very cartoony, but there's so many fun like magical creatures, and it starts off with like this black woman like in this other world, and then she gets knocked through this door, and the door is like this fantasy realm type of thing, and it's her journey going through that place, and it's such a good time. I mean, this is what made me be like, what else does Boom have? Because this was a fire read. So definitely pick up Sparrowhawk. That was a good one. What
I
else?
made my
Yeah, girl, pick that up. It's a good time. And then what else? Oh, I haven't finished this one yet, but Seven Secrets is a good time too. I've only read a few issues of this, but and the main character is main-ish character is a black guy, but there are some like side characters that really made it for me. Like I want to say her name is Ava, but it's a good time. It's how do I even explain this? I don't want to. It's kind of hard to explain this one, but it's a good time. Definitely pick this up. The art style is fun too. Yeah, but this one is one where I've only read a few issues, so I have to catch up. And I don't even own all of the ones that are out just yet. I just was like, oh yeah, I remember liking that. Let me just go ahead and pick up volume 2. But that's another good one. And I think, if you're someone who's like into kind of gothic erotica style comics, Faithless was an interesting one. I will say, like, I read the first volume and I was like, what the freak did I just read? Like, it's crazy. This woman like gets gets wrapped up with this other woman and her art dealer father, and they get into some freaky, magical, crazy stuff going on. And the art style is very reminiscent of the freaky shit that they get into, but
Oh, yeah. Okay.
interesting. So if that's kind of your vibe, you're like, oh, I like alt type of stuff, then this would be a good one. But if you're not, don't pick this up because there's like full on sex scenes and all kinds of stuff happening in this book.
Mature readers
Like
only.
Saga, because I love Saga. That captured me.
Mature readers only.
Yeah, mature readers only for this one. And like you mentioned Saga, because Saga does have some of those themes in it. This takes that and like flips it. It's like so many steps past the nudity and whatever in Saga. Yeah. So it's
So that one is called Faithless.
It's called Faithless. Yeah.
But thank you for that.
Noted.
Yes, I'm like, oh, you might be into it, but you know, after reading it, I was like, I'm not mad at it, but is that something that I'll pick up a bunch of times to reread? Maybe not. Like Halloween season, I'll probably give it a reread, but outside of that, I'm like, this is not my favorite, but it's not terrible either. And then the last one that I'll share, even I have a whole bunch here, but I'm not trying to be here all day doing that, is Hex. And this is one that I was hecka happy that I was able to get the like compendium because it's out of print everywhere. So you can get the individual volumes, but you can't. It's harder to find this where it's the entire story collected together. And this is one that I haven't read, but it's like described as Buffy and Wonder Woman mixed together. And so I was like, this sounds really cool. And the artwork looks pretty cool. And I want to say the main character is Latina, so I was like, oh yeah, we'll give this a try. But I haven't read it yet, but this is another cool one. And that'll do it for me. I have a bunch more here, but quite a bit of them I haven't read just yet. And then some of them, there's like 2 of them where I'm like, oh, you guys don't need to buy that. It wasn't that great.
Awesome. All right. Okay, Angel.
I forgot to grab it, but Boom Studios has Dark Crystal comics. I have them. I looked at it. It was a Virgin cover, and I was like, oh, that's not it. And then when I looked in my CLZ, yeah, it is. So Dark Crystal's in there, and the only other one that hasn't been touched on as of yet is Creed. Creed is by Boom Studios. That's Michael B. Jordan's comic book. It's the continuation. It's like 10, 12 years after his daughter is born, and she now, she's an adult and she's boxing now. That's what it is. And then she's being coached by her dad. So a lot of the comics, let me open this up. It's focused on her story. So she's the next generation of Creed, and the artwork is reminiscent to like old school back in the day, which I love that. Because sometimes when you get A-list actors that jump into the comic book realm, they're not always on point with nostalgic type comic books or, the strips. But Michael B. Jordan is a comic nerd. So it was a relief that all his input was actually, it's just impressionable. And his daughter, Creed's daughter in here is just such a badass, and having her dad to back her up, because, we have the stereotype about, us missing dads or whatever. And yes, some of us have that story, but that's a common story across the board on this planet. I grew up with my dad. I get to call him every day, and a lot of us have our dads, but for some reason there's this mysterious story that's stuck as a stereotype that somehow we don't have our dads. But I love this because this is a dad-daughter story. So I love that.
That's cute.
That's what I have.
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
All righty. Yeah.
Angel said, Bree already shared the ones I was going to share.
I know.
Yeah. But the beauty thing about it is that the three of us, we have very different tastes and we read different things. But it's
Yeah.
also interesting how we intersected on several comics. So, and that's pretty much where I'm going to come in because, the ones, my favorite ones is Abbott, of course, but it's just like 6-issue goodness. It's like a little bit of dinner, a chewy, a snack. They're not the ongoing ones that I'm really like totally in love with.
Mm.
But the second one, I think the Eve is still ongoing, the Children of the Moon.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, yeah, I of course have Eve because little black girl, you got me because I had to know what it was about. And then I'll also have the Children of the Moon, the second mini series.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll do it in threes because this is now very interesting now. Because the only thing that I'll say about it is now Eve's not alone. So now the continuation of the story, but she's not alone anymore. So she has someone with her. But I'm not going to tell you who. You're going to have to read it.
Those covers are stunning too.
Oh, they all are. And I just look at them and I go, which one? Which one? You got to stick to one. You cannot do 3 or 4. Like I said, I only give Dr. Ewing the exception for that. And we'll actually talk about that when we talk about Black Panther.
Yeah.
So that's the only exception I gave for that rule. And then, of course, my next one that I read here, okay, Firefly.
Oh, I heard about that one.
I was so in love with this show when it was on. So in love.
I haven't read it.
So of course, when I see this, and then I see this little black girl here, and I'm sitting there going, "Who is that? That's the baby." At the end, I believe at the end of the television show. That is, let me get it right. Let me not play because I have to know what I'm talking about here. All right, the daughter of Wash and Zoe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The character here. What is her name? I am horrible today. I cannot remember her name.
Notorious for that too.
It will come to me, but this is the daughter of that. This is the daughter, pretty much all grown up now, and the Firefly is still going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really nice story. It's a really nice coming of age story because this is from the daughter's perspective, and how things have gone on since the crew broke up. And you will run into characters from the Serenity. So you will come into characters of the Serenity, but this is Firefly brand new verse, and this is also 6 issues. So
I picked up that hardcover off the strength of those covers because I was like, I don't even know nothing about this world, but we're gonna see.
Oh, it's awesome. So I mean, I understand why they're doing this little 6-issue thing so they can put them in trades and then put them in hardcover. Right. So, it's a big piece of a story. So now, the fun ones. Okay, this is an ongoing series, of course. And this was also one that I came into late. Something is killing the children.
Yeah.
Now, this was wild. This was wild. And I picked this up, and I was like, I saw this, so I picked it up, and I was like, okay, I might dig it. Okay, because the main protagonist is a young girl named Erica Slaughter. She joins this house, the Order of St. George. And that's all I'm going to go for there. You'll find out more about the Order of St. George as you go along. But she is, okay, and I'll give you one more thing. She's a monster killer.
Yes.
She's a monster killer. And these are monsters that adults can't see. So that's how majority of these children that end up with the Order of St. George, they end up there as children because only they can see the monsters. The adults can't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to drop it right there. And of course, said, this was the first one I picked up, and this is issue 16. And I was like, okay. So I went, this arc, 16, 17, 18, 16 to 20, is of course, it tells how Erica got into the Order of St. George. This tells Erica's story.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at that, I was like, okay, I dig this. I'm going to try and go back. Oh, honey, no, you can't. Unless you've got hundreds of dollars to spend, issues 1 through 15 are well out of any reasonable person's budget. So, the money to blow, you can get the first printings.
The fandom is large for this one.
Huge. So I looked at that and I said, oh no, I cannot pay that much for 15.
Mm-mm.
So what did I do? I got the David Mack Slaughter packs.
Yeah.
And this was also a double joy because David Mack is one of my favorite artists. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about favorite artists and favorite writers in another show.
Yeah.
But David Mack did brand new covers, okay, for those of us poors who can't afford the actual cover.
For the fandom who are late to the party.
Yeah, the ones who was real late and who decided to get into the story from the beginning.
Yeah.
But he did the first 15 because they have now they have another artist who's doing the Slaughter packs from 16 on. But he did the covers for the first 15.
Yeah. Which are really good. They're really nice.
His art is insane.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of David Mack from way back when he did his own comics, when he did his own independent comics. So, I was down. I was there. So that's how I was able to get 1 through 15, without spending my rent money. So that's exactly how much it would have cost to get all of them. So now I got them all together. I got everything complete, and I have everything up to, let's see, I have issue 26, but I know it's like up to 30 now because I've been behind. But this is a very good story. This is a very good story, and it gets wilder. Oh, I can't wait till we can actually talk about this. I want to let y'all read it first. And then we're gonna dig into that. Now,
we're gonna have to do spoiler shows for that.
Yeah,
we'll definitely do that.
Give a good warning.
And tell it all. So while I was waiting to get those other ones, they had the House of Slaughter.
Yep.
Which is an anthology series. Okay, because Something is Killing the Children is about Erica. But the House of Slaughter is about the actual house that she hails from in the St. George. So, I got several of these. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is an anthology series. So every 6 or 7 issues or so, it will put a spotlight on a different member of the House of Slaughter. The first arc is about Aaron.
And she's black.
Right.
He's black. He's black.
He's black, yeah.
Oh, there was one before her. Okay.
Okay, no, we didn't get there yet. This is Aaron Slaughter. Okay, this was Erica's handler and Erica's handler and housemate. And I'm not going to tell you anything more about what happens to him because if you read Something is Killing the Children, you know what happened to Aaron. So the first arc is his story. Okay, let's see here. And I think 5, 6. Okay, no, 5. Okay, because then the second arc with issue 6, it starts with a member of the house. Now, in the houses, they have different color masks. Okay, Erica is a black mask. Aaron was a black mask. Okay, they have different colors. They're focusing, this is the red mask. Okay, and I forget what his name is. Oh, that's terrible. but he is a red mask. They have different masks. They have different masks to denote the different parts of the house that you're in, because not everybody is a monster killer. So yeah. So his arc goes up until, okay, 5. So issue 10. Okay. And then let's see. Then the third one here, the Butcher's Return. Okay. This was a member of the House of Butcher that the Order of St. George had to disband. And he is the last one. And he figures in the Aaron story. So I'm not going to tell you no more about that. So he comes back. And then let's see. I don't have it. Do I have it? No. I have up until the his arc ends. I don't have the new one. The new arc focuses on a white masked child with no arms. So I can't wait to get started on that one.
See,
So now,
so okay, keep going, because I'm like, this is how you know I'm behind. I'm so behind on
yeah,
this run.
the thing about the Boom Studios and their comics, they move fast. So
Yeah.
if you blink, 3 of them already came out, and you're like, wait, what happened? And then that's when you get the call from the LCS going, you have about 5 or 6 of these here. You want to come get them? So yeah, they move real quick, because that's the thing I like about them, is that they don't sit there and keep you on hold. They don't keep you hanging. Now certain comics they do, because there's a comic from Image called Monstress that I'm in love with.
I
But
am obsessed with Monstrous. Do you hear me?
you only get 5 comics a year.
Oh, I have those actually. I don't
I
think I
have
skipped
those compendiums.
Yes.
They are Sana Takada's art. Oh my
Yes.
God.
Yes.
Yeah,
Insane.
those I got for the art. Yeah. I didn't scan them in. Oh, okay. Yes, I have those.
Mhm. So yeah, those, oh, you have to wait for it, but they're well worth the wait. But
Yeah.
we're not talking about that. We're talking about Boom. All right.
Talk about
So
Boom.
here's my last. We're talking about Boom Studios. So here's my last one here of my pile here. Okay, this is the Book of Slaughter.
That's what I was talking about.
It's a one shot.
So this is
Okay, this is a one shot. Okay, so of course, you have to kind of read what's going on in the Book of Slaughter. So now in the house, no, something is killing the children. I keep wanting to say that, because this is the Book of Slaughter, but something is killing the children. Okay, the House of Slaughter not doing as well as it should be. So this story features Maxine Slaughter. She's a white mask. So now they're trying to figure out, okay, our black mask contingent is getting kind of low. So the leader of the House of Slaughter is going to ask Maxine, is she going to, help her people out and go from being a white mask to a black mask?
Mm.
So this is her story. Okay, because the white masks are plentiful, but they're a strange bunch. So the difference, okay, I think I can give you, I'll give you this little tidbit. Okay, the black masks hunt alone. The white masks hunt in packs. So there's more of them. So now, and then Maxine herself, okay, she's a pretty atypical of a white mask. So we're going to see by this book, we're going to see if she's going to decide to become a black mask, because it doesn't tell you in this, because what's coming up is the Book of Butcher.
Oh, see, I didn't know.
And I picked up those just off the strength of the black woman main character, and was told, don't read these until you catch up on the rest of the subject. Yeah, so I was like, I collected them and have not looked at them because I'm like behind.
You need the Butcher Black Mask story in House of Slaughter to understand what's going on, what's going to go on in the Book of Slaughter.
Yeah.
And then it will go into the book of Butcher. So yeah, that's a little tidbit I'm going to give y'all, but that's about it. Because you got to read the comic, honey, to get the full story about Maxine and her journey. So yeah, so that's all of my boom books that I'm currently doing. And then of course I done wrote down these four here, and I'm going to get into those as well.
Nice.
Because it looks like the boom is going to have their own personal box in my collection. Because it's just so many more, so many. And I'm not even going to talk about the variant. Listen, I can't because I look at them and it's like, ooh, I want it, but I have this book already. The variant covers are fire, and then they have thousands of them because this one, like I said, I had wanted to get the regular cover. I went to my LCS. Oh, we don't have that anymore, baby. We just got this one, the retail incentive.
Yeah.
But it was $14 because this is a $9 book. Now, this is a one shot. It's a $9 book, but you get the story and you also get history in behind the Order of St. George, which of course whets my world building appetite because I want to know where these people come from. Why are they doing what they're doing? How did they happen? And you will find all of that in a Book of Slaughter. So this was a $9.99 book, and I was like, okay, since it's a virgin cover, I'll pay. And he was so surprised that I knew it was a virgin cover. I'm like, come on now, I'm not new to this.
That
You
gets
know the difference between a virgin cover and a trade
right.
trade dress. So because that's where he was surprised when I said it. I said, oh well, okay. I normally would not pay over cover price for that, but since it's a virgin, I'll take it. And he was like, oh, and it was $14.99. That would be the only time. Yeah, that's the only time that I would sit there and go over cover price because I was like, that's a $10 book.
Yeah, easily.
But it's worth it.
I'm realizing I forgot. Boom also does, if you're a Magic the Gathering fan, they also have their Magic the Gathering story happening. And I was so intrigued by these covers, even though I know nothing about Magic. Like my friends in my book club have been trying to get me into this tabletop game life, but I just haven't done it yet because I feel like it's going to be one of those things where it spirals very quickly.
Oh, believe me, and I'm an original Dungeons and Dragons head. Believe me, it will take all of your time.
And the budget, because you can't just start off half stepping.
Mm-hmm.
But this story had one of the main characters is a Black woman. So I was like, I'll give this a try and see if I like it. And then I might get into some of the other stories. And it looks really dope, but I haven't gotten into it just yet because y'all know I'm a fantasy girly. So I'm like, that's another one that they're doing really well of bringing Magic the Gathering to books. And then I'm also realizing, last one I promise, is Luna.
Mm-hmm.
This is another like gods, magic, mythology type of vibes. But what the real winner of this is how trippy it is. It's very much giving
really
like hippie, flower child, demons, magic, sex, and everything else type of vibes. So if you're into that type of thing, Luna is a good one to pick up.
Yeah, and then of course we had one to talk about the artwork. The artwork, mainly for Something Is Killing the Children, because of course I was sitting there like, it wasn't very jarring to my eyes, but then I looked at it and I was like, okay, wait, this might actually be something. And then once I got into the story, I was like, okay, you got me. I can rock with this.
Yeah.
Because there's not many of them that are like so horrible to my eyes. Because those that are horrible to my eyes, I will not buy. I was like, I will. You can have this. You can keep that. I'll sell that off or something if I already bought it, not knowing about the art inside.
Yeah.
But there's no real reason for me to do that these days when you can actually go on some of these sites and they will show you what's inside the comic.
Yeah.
So then you can decide whether or not you want to buy it. And like I said, I had gone on the Boom website. Okay, they have some like Met cadets, and I think did they have the? Are they the ones with the um Power Rangers? As if it's not Boom, it's someone else.
I
That
think it is, but I'm not a Power Rangers girly.
yeah,
I'm not
oh,
Power
I
Ranger.
was. So yeah, I was like, oh no, another one. So
I mean,
yeah,
I know some of the Power Rangers, so I'm supportive when I see them in person. But
Right, like I don't have anything against Power Rangers. I just don't know
no,
that I'm interested in a Power Rangers story. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
yeah. But I'm going through when you go to the Boom Studios website, they will
yeah,
show you all of the stuff that they have, and they have Buffy and Angel and all the stuff that I loved
yes.
when I was younger. And I was sitting there going, okay, do I really? I'm trying to pare my collection down a bit, but every
Mm-mm.
time I see something new that I'm going to do, they got Ben
See,
10,
this is what I'm talking about your
Big
bad
Trouble in Little
influence.
China, Bill and they have Bill and Ted comics.
See, this is what I'm talking about, okay? Because when we decided we were going to talk about Boom Books, I was like, I'm not even going to go to their website because I know I'm going to find something else I like. I'm just going to look at what I have already. And look at
So
you
yeah,
trying to encourage folks to go look at all the
I'm
other
not.
books I got.
I'm just saying. I'm just doing my homework, just letting y'all know that
Yeah.
more that they
There's
have way more
a
than what we
lot.
showed you here. They
Like
have way
10, Ben 10. I love that cartoon.
more. Yep.
Ben 10 is on
The
there. Bill
Spectral
and
Foul Destroyer. Now
yeah,
I heard that one was a real good one, but as a black boy protagonist, you know. And I'm not a man hater, but I tend to favor women protagonists first.
Same.
yeah.
So
Clueless is on there. I didn't know that was a
mhm.
comic book.
Garfield, Ghosted in L.A. Oh, some I'm in the G's, and it's
Oh,
just so
I have Ghosted in LA. I just haven't read it yet.
okay.
Dune. Dune is another one I actually have. It's buried. I moved, so all my boxes are completely out of order from how I had it, where I can just get the stuff easily. But Dune is on there, and
The
Mhm.
Expanse.
it's really good. I loved the movie, the remake, and the comic book follows that, so it was really good.
Yep. And let's see, Mosley. So yeah, they do have the Power Rangers. Mosley.
Fraggle
Oh,
Rock.
I forgot about Mosley. I have single issues of that one, but I didn't pick up the trade.
Once in Future, I picked up a couple of those, but I kind of wasn't really into it because the black character, she pops in and then she pops out for like 10 issues, and I was like, nah.
These are the ones that I didn't share because I haven't read them
Wind. I
yet.
have Wind. I have those.
That one's also giving like fantasy, fairy
Yeah,
magic type of vibes.
yes, I
And
love that.
then Save Yourself. This one is pretty cool. It's like uh superheroes who are also like pop icons, and the main character is someone whose brother was killed by accidentally by one of their fights against evil, but she's still a fan of them, and she like goes through her journey of trying to figure out, like, as she's following them, are they really good and are these really demons that they're fighting, or is it something else? But I haven't read it yet. But I was like, oh, look at all this girl power vibes in here, and the art is so cute. Haven't read that one. What else? Mamo. This is another one that was gifted, and I want to say, child, I don't even know what this one is about, except that it's witches and
There you go.
and I want to say the main character is Latina. So I was like, okay, uh, Great War. What is it? Yeah, Great Warrior. Another magical one. The main character is a hijabi, and it's like a cute adventure time style magical type of book. And you
Mhm.
mentioned Ghosted in LA. This girl moves to LA to be with her boyfriend, and he ghosts her, or he dumps her, or whatever. And so she ends up having to live in this house. The house is haunted, but it's like it's a YA title, so it's more like comedy around her high school
Mhm.
with the ghosts. And I want to say there's more volumes of this. And then also the Expanse. It's based off of the James A. Corey
So,
series. Um,
mhm.
I only got this one because I was like, okay, we getting to see some different people here, and I don't know nothing about them, so I picked it up. But the art in this one is pretty cool too.
I've actually watched the show, so yeah, I was.
Yeah, this
I
is
love
supposed to be an extension of the show. And then the last one that I hadn't shared was Eat the Rich.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I heard about that one. Okay.
Yeah, I got a comp copy of this from Boom, and I was like, oh, okay. There's like, is it actually Eat the Rich? Off flip, that's what it looks like. Ultimately, ends up happening. But one of the main characters is a black woman, so I was like, yeah, I'll check this one out, but I haven't read it yet. They have like such a wide range of types of stories. You know what I'm saying? So there's like literally something for everyone.
And also, let's not forget Sirens of the City from Carrie Randolph, the artist. So
Oh, that's
that one. I have that on order.
yeah, I have
Oh, you got that one?
yeah. Hold on. Here we go.
Uh-huh.
I haven't read them yet because I got them out of order. This is the 1 and the 3 were in the things that I picked up from my recent haul, and I haven't bagged and boarded them yet. But I somehow, amidst my picking things up, I picked up number 2, but didn't pick up number 1, so I hadn't started reading it. And now I have picked it up, but it's literally in this short box of stuff that I just picked up. And I try to wait until I can bag and board everything before I sort through stuff and figure out the order that I'm going to read stuff. But yeah,
it's safe.
Yeah, this most recent pickup was, like I said, a whole freaking short box full of stuff. So I'm very behind.
Oh, yes. Yep. So that, of course, is the wonderful world of Boom. So if we didn't convince y'all to pick up at least one of these books, okay, you're missing. You're missing out because there's enough in here for everybody, enough for everybody's taste.
Yeah. Big facts.
Yes, indeed. So we thank you for hanging out with us for this little bit of time. And we will definitely let y'all know when we're going to come back and talk about some more comics with you. Okay. Yes. I am Tamiko. You can catch me as Star Dancer Supreme on all of the internets, and especially on TikTok. I'm mainly on TikTok. So if you really want to check me out on TikTok. And then, of course, my shows will be here. So be here talking with my girls or showing you my hauls and all kinds of other things. YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Bree.
I'm Brianna, your girl Breeze Bookish. You can find me at Breeze Bookish. I'm mostly on Instagram. I'm starting to lean over into TikTok, but we're building, we're growing. And I also have a book club centered on science fiction and fantasy by authors of color. So you can find me at Be2Weird on Instagram as well.
Angel.
And I am mostly on Instagram right now. For those that are learning about comic books, I am giving away Blade issue 1. So if you go to A4 Amazing and go to my page and follow the steps, you could be the winner of a brand new comic book, Blade. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, former Twitter. I'm on all the interwebs, internets. Come find me.
Right. We're not going to be hiding. We're going to be out here with you.
Out here.
If you want us to talk about something, you can put it in the comments. Let us know what you're interested in. So we thank you for this time. And always remember, buy the comics, read the comics. Do not spend your rent money on those comics. Don't do it. Don't do it. Stay in your budget.
Don't do it.
Good night.